Da-da-da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple minutes. Get those notifications out. If you've never popped into one of my lives before, I am Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And we have been picking a word each week for the past 27 weeks, a powerful word. And we just kind of hacking away at it, right? Not going heavy, keeping it in layman's terms, but looking at these powerful words, impactful words, to see if it could do exactly that, if it can impact us in some way. Week number 27, officially halfway through these 54 words that I'm picking that I'm gonna, right? It's gonna take us just over a year to get them done. And it's not about rushing through them, right? Getting that check mark off the list, but actually getting something, right? Like I said, get a little bit inspired, a little bit impacted by some of these words. And this word synthesis, it's amazing. It has opened up my eyes this week and given me a little bit of clarity, a little bit of direction, a little bit of, well, I always kind of understood the plan, but the details, the fine details, the what ifs, or what about this problem, or what if they do this, or what if they say this, or right, if the answer is no. And we can ask ourselves these questions out the yin yang and only drive us crazy, stall us out. But that's the idea, right? In the end, right? It's not supposed to be easy, right? When you're going for the gold medal, and you people hear me see this all the time. When you're going for the gold medal, it's just not like you wake up this in one morning going, I'm going to be the gold medalist in backstroke, right? And just leave it at that, just as a dream, just as a wish, just as you said that was going to happen and you expect that it's going to happen. It's not going to happen without that action, without that effort, without that energy, right? And it starts with that impact. It started with me, with impact, and it's little stages, it's little experiences that we have that kind of jog an ancient memory. That's the best way that I can describe it. Something ancient, right? Like those instincts that we all have to certain levels, depending in our upbringings, in our experiences, right? Some will have more hypervigilance in those instincts than others, right? But we all have it. It's ancient. And when you're able to dig into that, right, you really do have a realization that, right, the past does matter. The past is what pushes us into the future. So in saying that, I also want to just say, in this week of mutual and aligned kind of lessons, because we're in these lessons of synthesis this week, but Cindy is also in the lessons, repeat, of choices, right? 'Tis the season. And when you beat yourself up because it's just not a revelation in the moment, that you just keep moving forward, understanding it's going to get you to a destination, but in this moment you're absolutely clueless as to what that destination is, or what it even looks like, right? And this week, choices, oh my goodness, choices and change, it's right, they're my no-brainers. They're on the top of the list, right, with me. And I do understand it's within my choices that movement, great movement, is made, right? But what are those choices? Because that's where the movement is. So I've been asked to make some choices, and right, sometimes those choices are just in the things that we would like to have in the moment. Sometimes those are small goals next week, next year. Sometimes it's those goals that we look a little bit forward to the future. It's like going to university. You're not a veterinarian yet, but you have to take those courses. You have to get that experience. You have to get that knowledge, right? You don't get that gold medal by just wanting it, right? So I'm walking home tonight. We've got 10 minutes today in working with this word synthesis. And so I thought I'd tie it up a little bit in my choices, right? Because my choices are in synthesis. It's in combining three major components of myself and having them optimistically work as a team. Work as a team to their best of the ability, understanding that each one of these aspects has limitations in them, right? Sometimes by choice, sometimes by the lessons that we receive and the experiences that we receive in our lives, right? But sometimes it is in the desires. And sometimes it's in the situation that you are in the moment that makes you the best candidate, for that movement. So in working with synthesis today, I wanted to talk about the biological, the psychological, and the social. These three detrimental, most important components of me, right? That battle each other. When I say battle each other, right, I'm not looking at them as if they're individual characteristics. I want them to be a singular. I want them to be a whole. And, even without me knowing what I was doing, right? By just not stopping, by just taking in the next lesson, just having that next experience, having that next experience, that it gives me an opportunity to make a little bit movement that sometimes, even though I can't reach the next lesson, I can have an idea of what that next lesson is. And in preparedness, right? Be able to get myself suited up, right? Put in those reps, going for that goal, going for that gold medal, right? So we want to make sure the biological, the psychological, and that social part of us, they're all in movement, like all parts of them. Oh my goodness, right? When Cindy's not eating properly, my biological is out of whack. If I'm not drinking water, I'm getting Charlie horses, right? Right? If I'm drinking too much, or if I'm eating too much peanut butter, I'm causing inflammation in my body. And though technically I'm not allergic to peanuts, right? Peanuts are a lectin. And I think too much lectins in my system do not serve me well, because in the evidence I can tell, right, that right. And when I stop eating the peanut butter, the way I feel is 100 times better. Maybe not 100 times better, because I try not to lie, right? But I feel so much better, that my mind isn't straying to these small ailments that overcome me, like inflammation, right? Or indigestion, that heartburn, right? I don't like taking pills. I take vitamins. And so when I have heartburn, while I'm taking my Rolaids, right? Because Rolaids actually have calcium in them, where Tums don't offer anything. I don't know if you guys knew that, right? So if you get a little bit of heartburn and you're using things to help calm that heartburn down, like milk and water, right? Try the Rolaids, because the Rolaids do have benefits outside the immediate relief. And lots of times, right, we need that calcium, magnesium, right? We do need it. We need quite a bit of it, being highly sensitive and being empathic. Hello, dear. I love peanut butter. Peanut butter is one of my favorite foods in the whole world. It is a budget food, right? When we're saving, for me, especially if I like when I save for my glasses, I lived on peanut butter and coffee for an entire month so I could save the money for the glasses. And I did that. Right? I did that even knowing that peanut butter causes inflammation in my body, but because it offered up another benefit in right helping with my budget at the time, right? Everything has benefits and everything has negatives, right? Sacrifices and gifts within everything. So when I say this week or today we have one more day on this word synthesis. So it's been really a great word, and it hasn't been a difficult word for me to work with because, right, I've been having those moments of realization, and when I'm tying it up with the choices, right, I know that this lesson, and I knew as soon as we picked the word, I knew it was going to be an important work for me, an important week for me at the very least. And hopefully, other people are taking a look at this word synthesis and looking at all those parts of yourselves, lots of those parts that we reject in ourselves, right? Probably because somebody, right? For me, it is my weight. And so when I see I'm gaining weight, I can reject myself. So it's an ongoing lessons for myself that, that I appreciate all parts of me, even the parts that do gain weight, right? And like a good mother, right? I want to help out, but I have to know that it's in Cindy's choice, and I can shove it down her throat, right? But it's only going to make her unhappy. It's only going to make me unhappy because, right, for lots of women, not having those foods that we enjoy, it's punishment, right? And for me as a child, right, it really did truly feel like punishment. But so even though I know it would be good for me to eat a little bit better, to say no to the pink ice donuts with the sprinkles, to say no to the peanut butter because it's going to get me through the month and get me my glasses, right? I didn't say that because I prioritized, right? I prioritize those. Sometimes we do have to make those small sacrifices in ourselves. And that's when that balance between the psychological, the biological, right, and the social can become a little bit uneven, like a set of stairs, right? A set of wonky stairs sometimes, right? Because we're not keeping all three of those parts of us, right, going like this. There's always going to be moving, always going to be that ups and downs, but it shouldn't be boom, 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 like this constantly. And we shouldn't always be, right, sacrificing the psychological for the biological, or, right, sacrificing the biological for the social part of it, right? And we do that too, just so that we can feel like we can belong, or, right, people will like us, that we have friends and networks and we're moving along just like everybody else. Well, come to realize I've got to move. I have to move like Cindy, because if I don't move like Cindy, I don't know how I managed to get to where I'm sitting right now without having these lessons, but somehow I did. And I know it's from the kindnesses that I picked up along the way. I do realize the characters who've come into my life and helped me along the way just as much as I understand the characters, right, and the experience that have come into my life that has stopped me along the way. I appreciate I appreciate both, right? And I appreciate most of all the lessons that I had an opportunity to recognize, right? And be able to make a choice. Oh my goodness. Choices this week. So I'm walking home from work tonight. I got 5 more minutes. I'm walking home from work tonight. It's about a 6 or 8 kilometer walk home. But it's beautiful winter day here. It is +3 Celsius, which you guys know we have been breaking records in our temperatures right and left, right across the entire country, like well over 20 records just in this province that we have broken in temperatures, right? Not reading into it because I'm not drawn into it, but I do find that interesting. But I'm going to take full advantage of this nice winter evening. Got work, going to go to work, put in my shift, put all my energy, right, into that. Feel good about the job when I lock up the store and then walk home. So I wanted to do my live show now because otherwise we'll be doing it at 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night, all pooped with big fat zero energy left. Everybody, that's it. I just wanted to say, oh, also the little serendipity, why choices have been in my, found this. I was just kind of tidying up my desk area and I found this card and I wrote on it, choice. I love the feel of the comfy, safe, secure, but I also understand there is no movement unless I take action on those choices that I make. So let's go for a walk on the way home tonight and not put the pressure on, but let's just see if Cindy can make some choices. We're not talking life choices. Maybe I am, right? We'll see what comes to me. But, right, small goals even. Make choices because that's where the movement comes from. Okay, you guys, that's my good cheer. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, dear, for popping into my live today. Thank you so much. Very kind to you.